All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Alan Pike. I'm here with Earl Beasley, and I'm here with Sophia Kelley. And, this is my first episode of my podcast. I don't even know what I'm going to call it yet, but I know I want to just be able to bring everybody some real talk, some real good dialogue concerning fitness, health, and bodybuilding, because I know a lot of times it's kind of hard for us to find like-minded people around us that we can really relate to and throw ideas back and forth with. So I want to be able to just put a platform out so everybody can, be able to kind of connect with us and some of the ideas that we throw around. And, have some different insights on different things that they face in the struggles of, getting fit, reaching fitness goals, bodybuilding goals. And, like I said, from time to time, I want to throw in some dialogue about health too, but we're going to start off with some dialogue on bodybuilding and fitness goals as it relates to how we balance that with family life. And so with that being said, I wanted to really invite some people on that can give some perspectives firsthand that have families, have spouses, because a lot of times, just kind of sitting back, I hear conversations about how some people can't even do a competition with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, let alone a spouse or, family involved, So I wanted to give some different perspectives, when it comes to that so that people can see it's not that hard to do, as long as you, have your mind right, your mind in the right place. And if you got a good support team behind you, it's possible. But I want to give you firsthand accounts from some people who've done it at a high degree, people who actually won shows. And I said, who better to tell it than them? So, first, we'll start with Earl. I just want you just to introduce yourself, tell people a little bit about you,
Definitely. So I'm Earl Beasley, actually from Southern Arkansas, Camden to be exact. Like I said, me and Pike have known each other for a long time. Grew up together. But as far as my fitness background, I've pretty much been athletic my entire life. I was involved in high school athletics, basketball to be exact. Pretty decent athlete with that. But later on in life, I got introduced to fitness. Pike actually was a big influence on that back in early college days. And so I started out from there and just continued to learn and continue to grow. And then around 2013 or 12, I believe, is when bodybuilding introduced a new category, which was men's physique. I had a buddy actually by the name of Channing McDaniel that got started in that, and it drew my attention mainly because of what they were looking for in an athlete. I've always been one that's more about the aesthetics, and I felt men's physique presented that. So got off into competing by the guidance of, again, I won't even say a good friend, I say a brother, Alan Pike. I came to him, told him what I wanted to do. He came up with the game plan, and from there, we went with it. I've competed in about 7 shows. My very first one was the Optimum Classics down in Shreveport, Louisiana in 2014. I followed that up with the Arkansas State Bodybuilding Championships in 2014. Actually had 2 nice showings with those shows. Second place finish in the open class at my very first show, again behind the guidance of Alan Pike. I've never done a novice. He completely threw me to the Sharks. He felt that I was ready. And so I started my first show again, second place finish in the open class of about 15 competitors. Followed that up at the Arkansas by winning my actual class. Won first place there. Had a chance to compete with the overall. 2015, I actually, me and him both went down to the Bill Heath Classic not the finish I was exactly looking for, but my conditioning and everything was crazy. Met a couple pros there at the time, and they were ecstatic about my physique that Pike helped me to develop. I followed that up again in 2015 and went back to the Arkansas State Championships. 2016 went back to Shreveport. Again, I won't go off too deep into the shows, but I've done 7. I have an overall win. I have 2 first place wins. I have 3 second place finishes. And most recently, I competed at the NPC Midwest Championships in 2018, or was it 1919? I'm sorry. And I had a nice finish, 4th place finish down there among some awesome competitors. And again, got some major good feedback from some professionals there.
Cool, yeah. And we really came up in this game together, man. Starting from back in the day, living with Tim in the dungeon. It was like we started there, trained a lot in college together. It was all fun memories, man. And it was always been a pleasure to get on the stage with you too, man. Down in Houston, out here in the Lou. So yeah, man. So what about you, Sophia? If you don't mind, just tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Sophia Kelley, I am a wife, a mom of 3, and just to talk a little bit about my schedule and being so busy along with competitions, it's just a matter of one of the things that I wanted to do. Fitness have always been in my life. I've been an athlete for many, many years, coming through high school and continued on. I'm a Navy veteran as well, so I kind of continued when I was in the Navy playing sports and things of that nature. Worked out always, but never took it to a certain level as, where I'm at now. So just one of them things that I wanted to continue, especially after having my son. I was at my heaviest weight. I had gained about 75 pounds during that pregnancy, which I was pushing about 200 pounds, which was a lot. So for me, that was that challenge. It was not only to get healthy and fit, but also once I did that was to step to a next level. So I was introduced to Alan sometime a few years ago, and we've been working together since then. Initial approach was just, look, I need to get some of this weight off me type of thing. And then it turned into about last year and a half ago, I said, hey, let's set some goals, what it looked like. I've always wanted to compete in a competition. What does that look like? So we did a lot of studying and researching what was right for me. And after much conversation with my husband and even my children as well, because I knew it was going to be a big family commitment. It wasn't just me making that commitment. It was a huge time commitment for myself, which took away time from my husband and my children. So once we made that decision to go at it, last year was my first competition, was the NPC Midwest here in St. Louis, which I was so excited because it was close to home, where I live at now, of course. And so my friends and family were able to be there to support me. So it was really kind of in my comfort zone. First competition, really, my goal was just to get on stage, right? To at least look like I went through this 20-week prep, and to my surprise, I got on stage and then they were calling my number. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. I was coming away with trophies and medals and all these different things. And I was like, and just so happened, Coach was competing at the same show as well. So I'm running back like, hey, I got this. So just the excitement of competing in that first show and then able to come away with hardware. Like I had hands like this of hardware. It was like, wow, maybe I have something, maybe this is something. I know I already have an athletic build. So what does this look like for me? And then, we just kind of went from there. We pushed it, worked a little bit harder. I knew that the Masters, 35 plus Masters category was mine to take. And we went with the NPC Midwest Naturals in that August, last year. And just killed it. Came away with number 1, and we was excited about that because that meant the next step for us is nationals. So being an athlete for many, many years, it just prepared me for this, the mindset, the mental, just even the mental piece of it is more than the physical piece of it. So overall, I just think that I'm excited about what last year looks like. I'm super excited about what 2020 looks like, even after quarantine, even after COVID, but yeah, so just I've been only competing. I'm kind of an amateur, a newbie at it, but learning from the best, taking advice, and just hopefully be in this game for a long time and see how everything play out.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, like I was telling her earlier, this was a pleasure being able to compete with both of y'all last time, because, sometimes you get to a competition, you don't know nobody there, you're just in your own zone, just chilling. But, we all connected based off of, like I said, I know Sophia, I know Earl, and then we just clicked up in our little corner, just chilling. And it kind of helped to keep your nerves down a little bit when you got people around that you know. So that was always it's always a pleasure to compete with your friends. So, but so I'm gonna come back to you in a minute, Earl. And but so Sophia, like you touched on something earlier. You was talking about your initial journey in just the weight loss after the pregnancy, before you even got to the competition goal.
Right.
Tell me, if you can, just elaborate a little bit on, that process and how did your family play a role in your success with that goal? And then, what were some of the things that you had to do differently, or did you have to do anything differently with your normal family routine just to get through your initial fitness goal?
Yeah. So my initial fitness goal really was just to get back to pre-pregnancy, somewhat similar. I may not have been, 125, 130 when I was pushing 200, but if I can get, I'm a pretty tall girl. So I was like, if I can get to a good 140, still healthy, in shape and everything, that was initially the goal. But then something really hit me, because what happened is I went for a routine checkup at the doctor. And when I went for this routine checkup, it was some blood work involved as well. And I think within a day or two, I got a call, and we're saying that I was close to being pre-diabetic, and so I was like, what? I understand, but you figure 80 pounds on me. That was a lot of weight, and so I knew that me and my doctor came up with a plan, and we knew that was because of the pregnancy, high blood pressure, all these things was affecting me in my late 30s. And I was like, what is going on? So not only from the physical standpoint of getting back in shape, I really needed to do this from a health standpoint, because guess what? I got 3 kids to raise, so I got to be around for them. So what I really did was I set up some sessions with you. We talked about it, and I just really wanted to get to that comfortable, healthy weight, because what I had on me wasn't healthy for me. Yeah. And so what I did, I think most of all, we had to really look at the nutrition, right? Because I would already go to the gym and work out, do, my daily cardio. I would do the little things that I needed to do to just maintain that someone that would just be looking, not necessarily to lose a lot of weight, but just to maintain what they had. But I was also losing weight because I went more to the nutritional piece of it. So instead of me having lasagna and spaghettis and, all these different things that as a family we were cooking, we had to figure out how would this work out for us to kind of switch the eating a little bit, change out the type of pasta we use leaner meats. So it really helped me from a nutritional standpoint that I had to step back and look at that. So really, as a family, we made that commitment. The children, our kid, at that time, I had just had my 3rd child, so he was a baby. But the other 2 were small enough that we could adjust them to that eating without them being like, well, mom or dad, what is this? And so my husband made a commitment as well. We knew that we were not getting any younger and we needed to eat a little bit better. And so that's exactly what we did. And I really contribute that, the nutrition piece, to how I really dove in and lost a lot of the baby weight. And then in addition to working out with you as well, us having our different plans in place and just taking it slow,
Okay. Yeah. So really making it a family thing when it comes to the dinner table is a big factor, because it's one thing, let's say if you're sitting down eating chicken breasts and broccoli or asparagus or whatever, but then you got somebody over here eating a burger. You know, like, unless you got like that serious tunnel vision, ultra focus, that could be enough to just make you just drop everything cold turkey, you know? So that's an interesting viewpoint, making the family thing, and, you know, just setting the groundwork there is a big key. Now, Earl, let me go to you. You've been a beast since day one. You know what I mean? You was a legend before you even started the competition game, you know? So, but, you know, I know that, you know, you came into this game, you know, and you had a family, you know, so just tell me some of your experiences that you went through. Well, I want to put it like this. Just tell me, like, what was it like when you first started, when you were trying to adopt a new way of eating and balancing that with what's on the dinner table for the whole fam?
Well, again, the kind of, I guess in a sense, piggyback off of what Sophia just mentioned, one of the good things in the situation that I was in is that we had already adopted, you know, a healthier eating lifestyle,
Okay.
which definitely a huge benefit with me starting that. But getting going to the, as far as the prep lifestyle, it was difficult, man. Uh, that first week definitely almost took me out. I actually never did even tell Pike about it because I didn't feel like I didn't want him to think I was being a little wuss or something, so to speak. But I actually had to call up my buddy that I mentioned that kind of inspired me as far as the men's physique category. And he actually had to talk to me. Like, I was literally on my last leg that first week. It tapped me. And again, the mental aspect, I believe, is what gets probably 99% of everyone. It's not the physical point; it's the mental aspect of it. And so, I would definitely, as far as getting started, that was the hardest part for me.
Okay, cool, I got you. But yeah, you know, both of you definitely were able to overcome that, went on to do good things. So I want to dig a little deeper. Start with you, Sophia. If there was a moment, what was that first moment that you realized, okay, or was there like a hurdle that made you realize, okay, I need to put a little bit more attention to detail when it comes to time management and family life balance? Because when you're adding in, like, let's say, extra time working out, extra time cardio, extra time meal prepping, was there ever a moment that some things just started conflicting with you, with your time, and then you realize, okay, I got to put more effort into making sure everything is balanced?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, honestly, that's the daily struggle, right? I mean, well, I think what happened for me, so let's say going through the first prep that I went through, it was very different because not only was I, you know, it's one thing to be just going through fitness and then eating with your family, just eating a lot healthier, but then there's another thing to be going through prep when you're to these strict regimens of food, but I still mom and wife, so I still got to cook for them and also have my prep food. So managing that piece of it, just even that Sunday routine, what does that look like? You know, some mornings I would, you know, hop up before we went to church, run out very early in the morning, get all the groceries and everything prepared. So it's always, to me, it's a daily struggle about time management. But the thing really is, when I was in prep the first competition, I was a full-time student, college student, working on my second degree. I was a coach. I coached volleyball and basketball. I was, and I am still an HR professional. I had a full-time job. Again, I have a family, a husband, a kid, 3 kids. They had extracurricular activities. They were into sports and pianos and, you know, just various different things. So not only am I sitting here trying to figure out how to manage, you know, when I'm coaching, what games I got, when my kids are playing, which was different than what I was coaching, making sure my husband got what he needs. Also at the same time, making sure I do this. Coach said I need to do so much cardio a day. This day is back. This day is whatever. So trying to just manage everything. I think I'm a planner at heart. I'm kind of a person that's why I call it a planner at heart, because I have to sit down and mentally think about what it is. What does the schedule for this week look like? So it's always good for me to know things in advance. If you throw something at me like real quick, I get shuffled. I need to be able to plan it out and see how it's gonna work out for me. And so, which worked well with me and you, because you would always like forewarn me. Like before, you be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go on and let you know by probably next week or next 2 weeks, or will we do this, and this might happen. So I was already mentally prepared for whatever that was, whether it was a reduction in carbs, whether it was no carbs, whatever it was. So for me, it's just about, I think the conflict came into place when I was trying to juggle so many things. And at the end of the day, in your mind, you're thinking, I know for me, there's nothing I can't do, right? So I'm superwoman, I'm super mom, I'm super wife. But at the same time, the fitness piece was about me. The whole fitness and competition and prep, that was just like something for me to say that I did this. Not that I'm mommy, not that I'm wife, not that I'm this HR professional, all these other things. So I think the challenge came into place when I was coaching basketball and volleyball. Well, it was 2 different seasons, so it was either season. I was in prep. You figure 12 weeks, within that 12-week span in prep. So we was diving deep, right?
Yep.
I still had to be mom. I still had to go to my kids' game. And Coach, you remember this. It had been times that we would have scheduled to work out at noon on a Saturday, and I'd be like, my baby got a basketball game. We're going to have to reschedule. Because that was one of the commitments that I made. So I think as a family, going into anything, like as a mom or a dad, and it's something that you really want to do, you have to take your family in consideration. So one of the commitments that I made to my family was that I would make sure I might miss a practice for my children with basketball, volleyball, whatever sport they were playing, but I won't miss a game. So I would adjust my schedule to make sure that I was there for them, because that's important. Another thing was I made sure I was there during dinner time. So like with you, I would make sure that I was later on in the evening or whatever, so pushing 7. So that way I could still make sure I got dinner done for my family. Made sure I was here when I got off work, got home, maybe help with some homework. So it was certain things that I knew I had to make a commitment to my family and uphold that in order for us to continue on this journey together. I never wanted my kids to be like, oh, mom was, in this fitness, she done all these different things, but she never was at home. She was always at the gym. I wanted them to know that this was about us. And there was some days that I would take my kids to the gym. My girls are very athletic. So we mixed it up. We maybe my cardio would be bike. My daughter has a bike just like mine. We'd go on the trails, So we tried to do the best that we can. But I think it was just situations where I had to see, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. I couldn't give up on school, right? Because I was literally a leg out. I was a couple more semesters, I was done. But one of the things I did is I figured that I had too many balls that I was juggling. So at that time, it was 4 or 5 balls that I was juggling. And I had to say to myself, okay, Sophia, that may be too much, And so what I did was took a moment. I told my parents that I coached and said, look, I apologize, but I have to take a break from coaching. I'll be back, but I need to take a break to focus on me. And that really helped me push into the second show. I was able to really, I would say, give it a little more than that 110%.
Cool. Yeah. So I've come across a few main points right now. Number 1, making it a family thing when it comes to, what's on the dinner table. Number 2, not having too much on your plate, and that's with any goal that you choose. Sometimes, you may have to take a little away from one other aspect to have a little bit more energy to put towards something else,
Right.
So yeah, that balance is key. So Earl, let me go to you, man. I know you mentioned that first week almost took you out of the game, but you bounced back from that, came strong. Was there ever like let's say a family issue, life issue that came up that was a serious hurdle in your way that you were able to navigate while you were preparing for a competition?
Well, I would definitely say it was probably hurdles every day, so to speak. Again, as Sophia mentioned, being a parent, I have 2 daughters. My wife at the time, she was an RN, so she worked obviously the non-traditional schedule, 12s. So the ball was in my court at all times, even when prepping. You know, I was responsible for getting my daughters to school, to daycare, then get to work. Obviously, my mom was able to help me out tremendously in picking them up after school. But as soon as work was over, you know, I was picking them up and getting back home. So again, I would say you had hurdles every day that you had to try to conquer. I'm just trying to recall a major situation. I can't recall one exactly at the exact moment. Um, but again, like every day, you back to what you guys were saying, like you having a plan, but at the same time, just knowing that having a family, a spouse, kids, at any moment, you may have to adjust that schedule accordingly. Because I'm always one of those individuals, family first. Fitness is very important to me, but at the same time, as Sophia mentioned, if my daughters have extracurricular activities, any things of that nature, I put that first. But at the same time, if I have to, I will reschedule that workout. Those sessions won't go unmissed. But again, just keeping what's most important, just making sure you keeping that in alignment accordingly.
Right. All right, so man, that's real good insight about, you know, how we can make sure we putting or giving our kids enough attention, you know, while we are pursuing our own personal goals. Now, a lot of times, you know, I would say probably most of the time, we got competitors that might not even have families yet, you know, but they may have a significant other, spouse, or just boyfriend, girlfriend. So I want to kind of just talk a little bit more specifically about that dynamic right there, you know, just, you know, balancing the relationship time. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's something that I experienced for the first time in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been, you know, I've been single, a single man, a bachelor for a long time throughout my competitive career. And I just, you know, had come into a relationship for the first time, and then my first prep, you know, in a serious relationship. You know, when usually I'd be able to just kind of like, you know, zone out, you know, not call nobody. You know what I mean? If I wanted to just have the whole night to myself, sit down, watch bodybuilding videos, I could do it. You know what I mean? But you know, so I want to get just an account from y'all on, you know, some of the things that y'all have done to just make sure that you still have that time, still giving your significant other the attention that they deserve and need, you know, while balancing the fitness life, you know, just so for the people who, let's say, not have gotten to the family life role yet, but, you know, trying to balance their relationship life.
Right. Yeah, I think that's important as well. I mean, for you know, family is one thing, kids is one thing, but then also your spouse, significant other is another thing, right? That time, you know, that you guys spend with each other. So I think that, again, coming into it, we had already talked about how much of a time commitment this was going to be as a husband and wife, you know, and what our roles were. That's just the beauty about being in a relationship. When you have great communication, you're able to figure that out, right? So we were able to figure that out, but we said it wasn't giving up on us. It wasn't giving up on our time, but we knew that this would affect our time together. So what we did, as me and my husband, we love spending time together anyway. I mean, we've been together 15 years, been married over 12. I mean, we just, but he's that type of person. I love being around him. He keeps me laughing. But we also love to do things together. So even for us to take a bike ride together on the trails, we may not be hugged up lovey-dovey, but we enjoyed that. We together, we competitive, you know, and so we do them type of things together. So whatever that is, it may be go for a run. If, you know, he'd be like, he'd get up in the morning. I'm like, what you about to do? He's like, I'm going to go for him. I said, okay, let me see if mama keep the kids real fast. I'm going to run with you. You know what I mean? So we try to make this. So that's the fitness piece of it. But then let's take the fitness piece out of it. We'll say it's already hard. We got 3 small children. It's already hard for date nights, all the other stuff, finding the babysitter, you know, all that other stuff. So we kind of already know that. So we don't really say, okay, let's do a date night. But it may be some time where we say, okay, let's watch a movie. The kids, we're gonna put the kids down, make sure they go to sleep. Hey, go there, let's chill, let's watch a movie, let's spend some time together. So we always make it an effort. One of us always say, hey, look, it's been a couple of weeks, it's been crazy. We've been doing this, you've been working out all the time, I've been doing this, my husband builds a lot of stuff, so he's always doing extra things. Let's just calm it down, okay? And let's just spend some time together. And so I think as a couple, husband and wife or significant other in a relationship, you have to take that time and figure out what that time looks like for y'all. I'm not telling everybody to go on bike rides or walks or runs or whatever, but that's just something that my husband and I enjoy doing together, as well as having a movie downstairs in his man cave. We ain't got to leave the house to spend time together, but that's just the type of people that we are. We can be in the house, or we can get on the computer, or we love decorating. So sometimes just him and I, we'll sit on the computer and look up different ideas of things that he could build and I could decorate. That's time together. We value that. So I think it's just a matter of what that dynamics is in your relationship. Figure out what that looks like. Some people want to go out and dress up. Some people want to do all these different things when we're really homebodies, and we don't really have to, get all jazzy up. We can sit on the couch with PJs on and be laid up and be good. So,
cool. All right, cool. Speak on it, Earl.
Definitely similar. We're about the same way. I know my wife, she's pretty much, she's fine staying at home as well. But I like what Sophia just mentioned about, including your significant other, including your spouse within your workouts. I think that is very beneficial whenever you're prepping or just in life in general, because health is at the high end of the spectrum for us. So it's important to us. So what better way to spend time together, than out doing something enjoyable together, and at the same time, you're benefiting your health, so you're not missing anything on that note. Another part that I wanted to touch on is, like, whenever you are in a committed relationship, whatever it may be, whenever you are in prep, again, you do have to keep in mind of that spouse. So with me saying that, one thing that I want to touch on is, just say if it's my wife's birthday, I could be in prep, and you guys know how strict we try our best to be while we're on prep. But that is a milestone, Your wife's birthday is a milestone. If it's an anniversary, that's a milestone. So even though I am serious whenever I'm prepping, I step back a little bit on those days. Those days, if the wife wants to go out, most of the time I'm going to want to go out with her. And I'm still, if we go out, I'm going to order. We're going to get a nice meal. I'm going to keep it within range, but I may back off a little bit and just, get away from the prep. I may get a steak and some veggies or some rice, but still just actually going out and having that moment and celebrating, that milestone. One thing that you'll come to learn as well, after you do a show or two, you'll learn how your body responds to things. And I know I could get away, if it's the wife's birthday and she want a slice of cake, I know I could get away with also having that slice of cake with her, or a cupcake, to help celebrate that milestone. So again, just your goals are your goals, but again, whenever you're talking about significant others and spouses, you do have to keep those things in mind as well, because otherwise it could create, a little tension within the relationship, just because.
True. These are all great points, man. And this was some really good dialogue that, we had on relationship balance, family life balance, making sure we giving enough attention to the kids, and, just how to tie it all in to, to the sport or just to your fitness goals. So, we had a good convo, but, I want to just be able to leave somebody with, or leave the viewers with a tip, from each one of you. If you could just give a quick little tip on, one thing that you have, high importance on, if you could just leave somebody with just a serious tip, just to end it all, what would you give to everybody watching today, Sophia?
Um, well, I would say this. I get a lot of women that say, Sophia, I don't know how you do it. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, I don't know how I did it either. But what I tried to reflect on and see, like, how did I do it? What all did I put into it? And once I kind of reflect back and look at that, like if I look at my 2019 journey, and look at the things that I was able to do from a family standpoint and also reach my goals from a fitness standpoint, I would say time management was huge in that play. But I would kind of piggyback on what Earl said. Family comes first. And I knew that, that was something that me and my husband talked about, even going into the gate, like that's first. So I would say making sure that if you're in a family dynamic situation, a family or a spouse, significant other situation, make sure that they're on board with what you're doing. Make sure that they're just as committed as you, maybe not to the physical aspect, but the mental aspect. Because I would even say my husband knows, especially on them weeks when them carbs get low, we got a code word. We got a code word in my house. Like if I start getting, a little mouthy with the kids and snapping at the kids, my oldest and my husband will be like, bread. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, I know. You know what I mean? Oh, all right, my bad, y'all. Because it gets like that. But again, the family is involved in everything, which that's mad support. I can't do nothing but be successful and be great when my family is whole and standing right behind me, pushing me to do things. So I would just say, anyone that's interested in getting into the whole competing aspect realm, or even just taking your fitness to another level, and you have a family, make sure that you think about what that time commitment looks like for your family. Make sure you communicate with your husband or your spouse, your significant other. If your children are old enough, communicate with them. Like my two girls were old enough to comprehend and understood what was happening a little bit, to the point where they were like, okay, mom got to go to the gym, or mom got to go do this, or mom has to eat like this. It was to the point where my children, even if I veered off, left anything, they'd be like, Mom, you supposed to eat that? You know what I mean? So they knew what was going on. So I would say make sure your family is behind you, and to help you in your fitness journey. It is the most blessing feeling to have, is to have the support of your family and your friends. My friends, my girls, we used to go have, wine nights and stuff like that. Well, I say I'm in prep, they be like, dang, she can't do nothing but drink water, but they knew, but they supported. And so I think it's just a matter of having that support, because that way it pushes you to give your best, to be your best, and to do your best.
Cool. Speak on it, Earl.
Hey, Sophia hit it on the head. That support is number one. Because first and foremost, if you're in a committed relationship, married or whatever it may be, if you don't have the support by that significant other, you're going to be in trouble. Again, they got to be able to understand like your lifestyle. Hey, my wife knows the gym is my getaway time. My mom knows that. I adopted something that Pike actually told me years ago. He was like, man, it's only one person that's gonna get play on my cell phone if I'm working out. He was like, man, you just got to leave me a message. He was like, if it's not my grandma, he was like, I'm not picking up that phone. And so it's kind of funny, man. It's really kind of funny. I adopted it to this day. Like, I will pick it up, and I'm like, my mom or something, she'll hear me breathe, and she'll be like, you at the gym, just call me back. I was like, okay, cool, So everybody already know that. My wife, she won't call. But again, just having that support is huge. You don't want anybody per se. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. You don't want to go off into competing, and someone is like, you tell them that you're competing, and you're eating your chicken breast and rice, like Pike was saying, and they come in with a cheeseburger. That is terrible. I still remember my first week of my first prep. My wife, it was the weekend, and on the weekends, we go out, we have pizza night, and so she went and bought pizza, and oh my goodness, that was torture. I had to go upstairs while they ate it. It was crazy. But again, as long as you have that support, you have that goal in mind, just know it's not going to be easy. But the one thing you can't do is give up. You know, nothing easy is going to be worth it. But I will tell you, once you start seeing those results, you're feeling better, your body is transforming right before your eyes. That is the motivation for me whenever I be like, you know what, you know, it's getting hard, but you see the results and it makes you want to go harder. You know, when you have people coming up to you like, man, you're looking good, that makes me want to go harder. And again, it the support is everything. It really is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hey, y'all heard it from the best. You know, some people who done it at a high level, and I chose these two because I know they, you know, real strong with the family connection. You know what I mean? So I figure who else better to tell the stories than two people who done it at a high level and still, you know, live very good lives with their families. So I appreciate you, Earl and Sophia, for taking the time just to get on here with me, just to, you know, get some fresh dialogue going with some people who are looking to get into it, whether it's fitness goals or competing, but are maybe apprehensive because they feel like they may not have the time to do it because of, you know, what they may have heard other people say about it, you know. So I appreciate y'all, and, you know, wish y'all the best going forward in this new week, you know. Everybody out there, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know, thank y'all and take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.
All right. See ya.
Appreciate you having me on, Pike. Hey, and again, before we jump off, Sophia, I definitely want to congratulate you and commend you on your journey. And you're doing awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Look at there. Look at you. Well, I'm the newbie, so it's good. It's good to hear from some veterans. You know what I mean? Coming in and just really learning, and under, you know, Alan's leadership. It's just a great thing. So it's good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. I'm holler at you.
All right.
Peace.
See ya.
Yep.